This episode of Tioga Talks is brought to you by Franklin Air. At Franklin Air, we are proudly serving our community with fast, dependable service you can trust because we're your neighbors, not just your AC company. From quick repairs and routine maintenance to full system installations, Franklin Air has you covered. Stay cool and schedule your service today with Franklin Air. Call Chris Franklin and his team at 479-318-9992 for all your HVAC needs. Franklin Air, the official HVAC company of TSPN. Hey there, Tioga Nation, and welcome to another episode of Tioga Talks. I'm your host, Cade, along with my co-host, Dallin, and this week we had the chance to sit down with a teacher with a cult following, but in the best way. She's easily recognizable to many by her voice and those sparkly red high heels, but her love for students and the impact she has made is what really stands out today. She has a passion for music, but she shares that passion with kindness and encouragement. Join us as we sit down with Tioga's beloved choir director, Kelsey Nogic. This is Tioga Talks, where every conversation has a story.
You want question?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, however you want to do it. Do you want me to introduce? But we go ahead and
There's
push record. This is
one.
the fun stuff right here.
There's only one Dallin Berthwaite. There has to only be one Kelsey Nogic friend.
That's true. Yeah,
These are the things that we need to be. This is.
I think she's already
Are we
recording.
recording? Oh,
yeah,
the people are gonna love this. Like, and it's recording. Hey, we've never had video before.
Well,
this is
hey.
great.
I'd love to be the first.
Yeah.
Miss
this
Nogic,
is
we're
great.
so glad that you're here on Tioga Talks.
Thank you for inviting
very,
me.
Very excited to be able to have you on. So you were one of the ones that our students actually had thought about, and we said, duh.
Duh.
Most requested.
Yeah, absolutely.
The listeners just keep asking for you. So.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those big things. Yeah. So did you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, let's actually start. Yeah. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Where'd you grow up?
Kind of all over the place. I was actually born in Alabama, and we moved around a lot. My dad was one of the vice presidents for Hobby Lobby. So growing up, we lived several places. The majority of my time was spent in Oklahoma City, and then my high school years, I was at Pineville High School, which is why I landed in Central Louisiana.
Well, we're glad you decided to change.
I do not claim the river rat.
Thank you.
Wow.
Don't claim it.
Wow, threw it straight out there.
So
That's
when
great.
did you move to here? When did you move here?
By here, do you mean Tioga?
Here as in Central Louisiana.
Yeah.
That would have been in 2020. Nope, not just 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the big things, obviously, we've done our research. So we know that you really started having a liking for singing, as young as 5 years old.
Yes.
So do you remember the first time that you really loved singing? Kind of take us back there.
So to be honest, it was either kindergarten or first grade. We had a classroom play that our class did, and I just remember thinking that it was all about me. And I knew then, we're all singing along. It was all of the farm characters. I don't even remember what the play was. I just remember, I'm pretty sure I think I was a chicken. And I can just remember feeling so I really enjoyed being part of this group that was all singing together. And it was, quite literally, it was kindergarten or first grade. And just the feeling of pride of we worked really hard for this. And then from then on, it was I wanted to perform. I want to get out there and learn more about it. And then, of course, as I got older, it became, I want other people to feel this, because this is such a cool, I work so hard, and it's such a vulnerable thing when you sing. So it was I want to show other people. I want other people to get this feeling too, because I know that others can.
Do you remember when that happened? When you're no, I want to do more than just sing. I want to teach this.
That was junior high. Okay. I lived in Oklahoma City, and my choral director at the time, her name is Marcy Samuelson, and I still keep contact with her to this day. But I just remember she kind of took me under her wing and was you have something really special. She made me feel like I was more than your average student. And I don't think I actually was. I think she was just so good at her job that she helped inspire this desire within me to make other people feel the way she made me feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you explain for the people out there the difference in choir and choral? I think that would be good for the listeners to understand.
So it's really the same word, so like a choir is a group of singers.
Okay.
Choral is like the category of which the music falls. So like it's choral music or band music. You wouldn't say, oh, it's choir music. You would say it's choral music.
Right.
But you also wouldn't go, oh, well, this is our choral coming up to sing. You would say this is our choir coming up to sing.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have like different, especially here, we have different breakdowns. Like we've got Tioga Tones, and we've got chorale, and all those different ones. Right. So they're very specific, like to your boys and to your girls. So,
correct.
Yeah, I think it's just helpful to.
So we call like our mixed ensemble here, which is all it means is that it's got guys and girls singing together. We call that the THS chorale, which is a chorale is just a name for a group of singers. Right. And then Tioga Tones is our a cappella group. We have our treble choir, which is all girls, and we have new to Tioga this year, our men's choir, which is all guys.
Ooh,
okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So you'll want to
That's
drop by
good.
and sing a couple lines.
Yeah, that's good. What hour are we talking about here?
That is second hour, bright and early.
Ooh, I could do that.
He's off.
I could
come
do
on.
that.
Something to
come
think
on,
about.
anytime.
That's
Sing
good.
a couple bars.
Okay, so you moved to Pineville, and have you already started high school at that point?
So we moved during the summer between 8th and 9th grade year.
Okay.
And so I started at Pineville at the very first day of 9th grade. And at that time, back in my day, that's when Pineville was actually known as the Performing Arts School. I had to audition to get in because it wasn't like school of choice. You can just go wherever you want. So I had auditioned with the choir director that was there and, been offered a place to stay there. So I went for the music program and then, of course, stayed all 4 years.
Yeah, so let's just get into it then. High school, so your choir director in a high school was Brenda Rudd, is that
Yes.
right? At Pineville?
The Brenda Rudd.
A lot of people have a lot of stories.
Oh, yes.
What can you tell us about Brenda Rudd as your choir director?
She was so intimidating at first. I was terrified because, of course, I was also scared because I was coming from, the unknown. I didn't know anybody, but she is just so knowledgeable and very, she kind of had a well-run, way of doing things. And I think all of her students were very familiar with it and just knew what to do. So coming in as the newbie, it was intimidating, but I very quickly learned that she wanted the success of all of her students.
Right.
And then she became just another Miss Samuelson from junior high, where it was wow, you make me feel like I'm important, like what I'm doing matters. And she helped, kind of further inspire my dream to be a teacher.
Right.
Yeah. Are there certain aspects, I guess, in the way that you teach that maybe they had an influence on you?
Absolutely. I think my want for the top expectation, my want for the scores. As much as we all want to say it's not always about the score, of course we want to win.
Still matters.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to make sure that we, are representing our school or our community the best way. I think that really was instilled from Miss Rudd because it mattered to her. She wanted us to have top results at, any competition. She wanted her students to be the ones that placed at All-State and had, the top chair spots at Honor Choir and things like that. And it made me see it as a competition, but also as it matters because when you work so hard for something, you want to represent and
there's
say
a payoff,
look at what we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. You're getting a close look.
Students that ride Miss Monica Lacomb's bus.
I love that our listeners are going to get a little insight into our day-to-day life. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. All you listeners out there, Bonica Lacombe will not run tomorrow. I think we should keep this in. Should we keep this in?
Call your mom, call your dad.
Yeah. Big shout out to Mr. Smith there. Yeah.
All right, that was great. So if Kelsey Nogic is not a choir director, what would you have done with your life?
Oh, God. If I had to answer that right now as 37-year-old Kelsey Nogic, I would say I would 100% be a stay-at-home trophy wife. Not actually. No, I think I probably would have gone into some type of like caring medical role, but something that doesn't necessarily have to do with like needles and blood. Maybe just more of the like, I would love to be in the nursery at the NICU, like just taking care of the little babies, or even like where the elderly people just need like a companion. I really feel like everybody deserves to be seen and loved on, and so I think it would be some facet of that. Because in a world where I'm not a choral director, I would not be a teacher at all.
Yeah.
Like that would just be off.
Choir or nothing for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So not going to catch you in a history class, right?
He will not.
Yeah,
he
so
will not.
We'll never see
That's
her.
good.
So obviously, Pineville High School, you graduate.
Yep.
You move to Northwestern. Why Northwestern?
So my junior year, I was doing an audition for All-State, and so just small history, whenever you're doing All-State auditions, you don't see your judge. There is quite literally like a shower curtain between you and the judge, but it's just you two in the room, and you're not supposed to have any contact with the judge. Well, I sang, and the judge busted through the shower curtain, and he said, "What is your name and what grade are you?" I said, "Oh my God, I'm Kelsey, and I'm a junior." And he said, "Well, I'm the director of choral activities at Northwestern, and I want you at my school. So whatever your plan is, I want you singing in my choirs year after next." And again, it was just another one of those experiences where I felt like, oh my gosh, like I've made some kind of impact on this person. They see something in me that's, more than what I see in myself.
Right.
And so I ended up doing an audition through them, and most of my college was paid for through my voice because, that's when you sing.
You also, I believe it was at least one time, you sang at Northwestern's graduation.
I
Didn't
did.
she?
I did.
It's kind of a big deal.
It is, and it was my own graduation.
Yeah.
So I got to sing the national anthem for the 2012 graduating class, which was really cool. I mean, a lot of pressure because there are so many people.
Yeah, right.
But it was really cool. It was a neat experience because. This sounds braggadocious, and please don't take it that way, but, I wasn't the only senior graduating, so to be asked was just a huge honor. It was very, I felt like I had been trusted to do something that, of course, means a whole lot because I'm representing the United States by singing the national anthem, but then I'm also representing this entire senior class by singing, so it was a really big honor for sure.
Yeah,
right. Cool. So when you leave Northwestern, do you feel prepared to go have your own choir to teach?
I remember, vocal music ed is a K through 12 degree.
Okay.
So I'm certified to teach kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. And after doing my residency or student teaching, I said I would love to have the high school kids or the elementary kids, but absolutely no junior high. I cannot. And the first job that came open was junior high.
Yes. Yep.
And my mentor teacher was Mr. Mark Richards, the one and only. And I remember him calling me and saying, "Kelsey, you've got to take this. This is going to be perfect. Just trust it. You can do this."
Yep.
And I went in with so much hesitancy, thinking this was going to be a bad choice. But it was wonderful, and I took the job at Brame Middle School, and I stayed there for 8 years, and there's something really special about those stinky junior high kids.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy it, but yeah, I was prepared. I went in ready.
Yeah, so let's just kind of stick there for a second. I mean, you just said junior high was not the plan, but you stayed there almost for an entire decade. Kind of walk us through just those first years of trying to figure out getting your feet under you. Who was the principal? What was that relationship like? And then just you finding your voice as a choir director.
And look, me and Cade both taught junior high. I taught at Palma Junior High. He taught at Forest Hill. It's not always the dream job.
No, right? It's not. If I could go back and reteach the kids that I taught my first year teaching, oh my goodness, I feel like I could give them so much more than I did that first year teaching. But I feel like that's not just a choir thing. I think every teacher would probably go back to their first year and be like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know what I was doing quite yet." Right. But, there was something so special. Brame is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So these 6th graders would come in. And they were such an elementary mindset, little babies, everything, they are crying whenever they realize that somebody has said shut up to them. And then I've got these 8th graders that think they're grown, that think, can't tell them anything. They're like our current seniors. Right. And it was really a lot of fun to get to see them graduate from 6th grade into 7th and then 8th. And the vocal challenges that they, go through, going through hormonal changes, they're all starting to hit puberty and go through all of that. And that has a big wear on a voice. I mean, that is huge. So it was really tough to navigate at first. But once I kind of figured out, the tricks, like if I can get you to do this thing, this will be the result of it. And once I really kind of had my toolbox ready, I think that it just worked. And my very first principal was Mr. Wally Fall. He's the school board member over there now. But Wally was always very supportive, in the way that he knew how to be, because he didn't know anything about music, but he would say, whatever you need, just let me know. But I kind of had a confident and really close relationship with Molly Fontenot. She was, at the time, an English teacher. She kind of worked her way up. She works in the school board office now. But I remember one time Molly and I having a conversation, and I was just saying, I just don't know always if this is what I'm meant to do. Like, of course, there's days that I question, like, if I'm good enough, if I'm doing a service to these kids. And she said, I just remember her looking at me and she said, Kelsey, that you have kids that would commit murder for you. They adore you. They want to do the best for you. Right. And that tells you that you're doing the right thing,
Well, I mean, 14 years later, and you're still doing it.
I'm still doing it.
That's a big thing. Like, what would that first year teacher think if she could see your classroom today?
I think she would probably say, holy moly, girl, what are you, like, this is it. When I first started teaching, I compared myself to Mark Richards for so long because he was my mentor. And I can just remember thinking, oh man, I'll never be, and since then I have come to realize, like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm doing all the same things Mark did. I'm getting the same results and the trophies and the accolades. And it's because of the hard work that my kids put in. Like, they're willing to step up to the plate. And, of course, a small part of that is because of what I bring to them and say, this is the expectation. But I think whenever they are really, truly challenged, they'll rise to the occasion. And it's just a really cool experience.
Yeah. That's good. So Brenda Rudd left Pineville after 2013 to go get her doctorate. Did you apply for that job? Did you think about it? What happened there?
So I was called. I was called by several people, asked to apply, and I didn't want it.
Okay. Wow.
I know that sounds crazy because most people want to go back to their alma mater, but I don't know. I did not want that. I didn't want to be at Pineville. I think there was always a small part of me from the time I student taught here at Tioga that wanted to be here. I knew it really is so true. I think every school says, oh, we're like a family. Oh, we all love each other and blah, blah, blah. But it's so true of Tioga and the community here. It's wild. It's just not your average. It's not the norm. Right. And I don't think like outsiders really know that. But once you've experienced it, even if it was for like student teaching, it was so obvious to me that this was where I wanted to end up one day. And I had those talks with Mark, and Mark had said, when the day comes, I'll sign it over to you. When my day comes and I'm leaving, it'll be yours. And I just kind of always like, haha, okay. So it was, I just knew that Pineville wasn't going to be the place for me. It wasn't the right place.
Yeah. Well, we are thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead and say that. Yeah.
And I mean, that kind of 2020 comes around.
Yeah.
COVID hits.
Yes.
And everything just kind of goes up in the air, but it's a job.
It's a job.
Here at Tioga High School that comes open. So how do you decide to apply for that? Because at the same time, when you were at Brame, Cameron Weatherford was there. He left and went to go and work at, he was at Ash, correct?
Yes, he was at Ash.
Yeah. So, I mean, he went to LC. That position came open there. What is your mindset? Because, I mean, you were already at Brame. They feed to Ash, but Tioga was where you were under and had done your student teaching. What's your mind going through when you're at that point?
Is it just like a no-brainer?
Right. Yeah.
So I actually, when Ash came open, when Cameron was leaving, he called me and said, I want you to come spend a day teaching the kids. Come over here, spend a day. And I did. I thought, maybe I'll just give this a chance. And at the end of the day, I went home, and I can remember looking at my husband and saying, this isn't it. This is just not the place. And he said, well, then you stay where you're at until the place comes. So I remember calling Cameron and saying, thank you so much for this opportunity, but I just don't think this is where I'm meant to be. So when 2020 came around, Mark had some health issues, and he made the decision to go ahead and retire. And when he called me and said, hey, I need you to sit down, I've got some big news, I just kind of like, okay, what's up, man, And he said, I've turned in my paperwork, and I've given your name over to the principal. He's going to be calling you to come interview for the job. And it was almost like I didn't get a choice, but I think it's because he knew that this was where I desired to be. It was ultimately my end goal.
Yeah. So obviously you student taught for him, you look up to him, you establish, first off, an award after him.
Yes.
How does that process go, and who gets that?
So the Mark Richards Musicianship Award is offered to any 6-year choir member that starts in 7th grade at Tioga Junior High and stays in choir for 7th through 12th grade.
Right.
And it is peer voted. So all of our awards at the end of the school year, my students get the opportunity to vote for one another. So they get a list of the students that are 6-year members. And it's meant to be somebody that just kind of goes above and beyond when it comes to the music classroom.
Right.
They're, somebody that represents our choir well, both inside the room and outside. And a lot of times, but not every time, somebody that's going to continue music once they, graduate. Somebody that, even if they're not going to major in it, they're going to continue singing, continue being in choirs as they go through their college or otherwise journey.
Right. So here at Tioga, and even before that at Brame, you have talked about that you want choir to be an experience, right? You've taken trips at Brame too, which is, let me tell you.
Taking junior hires on a field trip.
Junior hires anywhere is
Out of the
props
state?
to you.
Yeah,
Yes.
God bless you.
Yes.
I think I'm going crazy, but it's okay.
New
fine.
York
We're all
City,
there. Yeah.
Disney, New Orleans. Why is making this an experience so important to you?
I think a lot of times we get kind of tunnel vision, and we think of school as the 4 core subjects, as the test that gets us to the next grade, as the test that gets us to the next school. And I think sometimes having that break and knowing that, like, I'm going to fit in this music community, I'm going to, create these memories, these once in a lifetime experiences. I know for a fact I have students that have gone on some of these trips with me that may never leave the state of Louisiana again.
Right.
This might have been the only opportunity they've ever received and will ever receive to do something of that magnitude. And if it means a little bit of extra hard work for me to provide that for them, then by all means, I will put that hard work in any day of the week, because it's important to me that they look back and don't just think of their experiences in school as a test, as, oh my gosh, it was so hard. We were always, this was always so much work, or this or that. Like, I want them to think of, like, oh my gosh, y'all remember that crazy old woman, Miss Nogic, that brought us all the way, I would rather them think back and have happy memories that also come with, these experiences that take them out of where they're comfortable.
Right. Okay, so if you could go somewhere with these kids that you have never taken choir before, what is like the dream bucket list that you would love to take them?
I'm going to be honest. I would love to take them overseas, but I don't think I'm brave enough to do that.
Right.
So there are a few other places within the United States that, like, I want to plan some trips to, like, the Tennessee, Nashville, music cities, obviously. I've had several people mention that I should try a trip to Branson, and I have not done that one. But Disney is such a fun, it's like they offer these workshops that are just
They're
bar
great.
none. They
They're
are
phenomenal. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I will always choose Disney.
Right.
Now, I will say I've now done 2 trips to New York, and both of those were unforgettable. There is nothing like performing in Carnegie Hall. That is, I mean, it is just incredible. It's something that, like, I just don't think you ever forget. And I think I have students that will, you know, tell their grandchildren one day, well, when I was in high school, we got to sing in Carnegie Hall, you know. So really, I think I would continue going to New York. I would continue going the places we go. If I ever get brave enough, one day I would love to bring them to London and do like the tours of some of the historical churches where music began. I think that would be really cool, but I don't know.
Well, look, if you ever want to do a joint history and choir trip,
Hey, that could be pretty fun.
We could really tag team that. I think.
we will go to London for sure. Historically, we will go
I
to London.
guess. I'm willing.
Yeah.
I guess.
If that's
I'll help
something we have
out,
to do.
You know, no big deal. Well, you've had groups receive top scores. I mean, you've gotten plenty of recognition in your time. It's okay to brag. We brag on
they're
you.
good.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I love whenever they come back. They got those big old smiles on their face. I love whenever we get the pictures of y'all holding the trophy in the bus, just passing it around, getting it for all of their social medias. But if there's a moment maybe in your time, it doesn't get a trophy, but it's a moment that you're proud of that bypasses all of those scores that cannot be awarded, but it's something that you just hold and you cherish as a teacher.
So the trip that I took to New York year before last, was that last year? Year before last. It was year before last.
Yeah.
Whenever it was time, we were on stage. They were on stage fixing to sing in Carnegie Hall. It wasn't just the Tioga group. It was several choirs from around the United States. And the director turned to the audience and said, if you are the home choir director of any of these groups, please stand and be recognized. And that, I don't really jive. I don't like that kind of thing. I don't want everybody looking at me, but I did. I stood up, and I'm looking at the stage to look at my students, and my kids, you know, everybody else is just clapping and being all polite, but my kids all were holding up I love you signs and hearts, and it was just unforgettable. It was just very like, you know, there was nobody up there saying, hey, like, you know, nobody's mom is nudging them and saying like, hey, you need to show her that you love her. It was them truly saying like, thank you in a way that teenagers know how.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to skip ahead then and transition. We'll go back, but this is a question for later. But since you bring it up now, like me and Kate talked about this with Casey last week. She was on last week. And I have now gotten to teach these seniors for 4 years in a row. And I've moved with them every year. And Kate has taught them 3 times, and Casey's taught them 3 times. And this class and the class of 26 just seem like they hold such a special place in our heart. And like you just said, like doing this to you, it's like, and I don't know if it's just a Tioga thing, maybe you can attest to that, but it's like they are more than just kids to us, like more than just students to us. Like we are, Casey said that they're intertwined in our lives.
Absolutely.
And what is that relationship, especially with the last 2 classes, been like to you?
So this last class, the class of 26, that was my first group of 6-year students at Tioga. And when you stop and look at it, they're 18 years old graduating. That means I've been a part of their life for a third of their lives. Right. And, you know, I see them every single day. I'm part of their lives every day. And I just think, you know, for years, I have told my husband, we've always called them, there's always those special ones that you teach. And I've always said, well, these are my heart kids. Like, you know, every kid that comes through my door, I adore and I want to see succeed, and I want to help be successful, whether it's in choir or in anything else. I want to see the success of my students. Right. But there are some that do just get in your heart. They're just closer. You know, I mean, y'all know because y'all have small children too, but now that I have high school age kids, you know, they babysit my children. Yep. They, you know, they ask me, you know, Miss Nogic, are you okay today? We can tell that you're a little off. And that to me is not something that most teenagers notice of others. Yep. You know, there is a generational gap of kids that just kind of live in this like self-minded, and not in not in a bad way. They're just, they're not aware necessarily of those that are around them. But this year's seniors and last year's seniors were just so much more aware, in tune of those around them, of each other, of me, like of all of it. And I do think that's a Tioga thing.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't feel bad saying that.
I don't either.
No, I'm more than happy to say that. Yeah. So, I mean, through your time here at Tioga, who is a student that sticks out as maybe being kind of out of place or not knowing what they are and what they're doing, but at the end of their time, they really impressed you?
There's so many.
Yeah.
There are
Give
so
us
many.
one. Give us one that sticks out.
I really think I'm going to have to go with Allison Ford.
I knew you were going to
Because
say
when
that.
she started, when she started 7th grade during COVID, she was so reclused, and so she wasn't even really sure that she wanted to be in choir. It was just kind of like, well, I know my biggest sister did it, so I guess I have to do it now too. And she slowly just opened up and became one of my top singers. She really and truly, I actually spoke with her last night because she made callbacks for one of Northwestern's top choirs, and it's just
That's awesome.
going
That's
on
cool.
to do all
Yeah.
these great things. And I was really impressed by her, tenacity and her drive to always just want to do better for who she is. Nobody but herself. She wanted to prove to herself that she could do things, and she did it.
Yeah. Man, that really ties in to the last question, because we talked to Casey about Allison and Zaya last week. You tell her what they did to your house.
Oh gosh, yeah. So this summer, I went on
I
a
heard
trip.
this story.
Oh, so you've heard it, yeah. So
good.
they came in and just made themselves at home and put all these pictures all around my house.
And they were just supposed to take care of the dogs, right?
They were literally just supposed to take care of the dogs. And I found pictures in my microwave, in my refrigerator, in the shower, in my mixing bowl. Like, if you could think of even on the record player, there's just these ridiculous pictures of them.
That's good.
Just being
Everywhere.
themselves.
Well, I have to tell you the truth. I was asked if I thought you would be mad.
Yeah.
And I said, not in the least. I think that the Richardsons will find that very funny.
Now the thing is that it was funny, but I was so tired. We had gotten in after midnight because we decided to drive from New Orleans all the way home.
That was a bad choice.
It was a choice, yes. And there was a McDonald's in Metairie that was still awake with us, but I just sang my country music all the way home as
I thought you were
quiet
going to
as
say
I
My
could.
Country 'Tis of Thee.
on repeat.
Just on repeat. Can you imagine? And when we got home, I was so ready to go to sleep, and we were carrying kids to beds, and Kaylee and I looked at each other, and then I looked and I saw this picture on our mantle, which was not supposed to be there. And sure enough, it was those two girls, and I was just like, okay, that's funny. But it really is sweet after this past weekend. Bittersweet to see them moving on to that next chapter of life, them moving into their dorms, and just, you see them as they're getting into that senior year, they're really starting to thrive, and they're finding who they are and what they want to be and where they want to go in life. And then they graduate, and you get to see that, and you get to, even though you don't get to walk next to them still, you still get to watch it. And I think that's just, it's such a blessing and just such a fun thing that even after we don't have them in our classrooms anymore, they still get to be a part of our lives.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think that's just such a special thing, especially with those girls.
Yes. Well, and it's cool because you see these kids grow and you're part of their lives. And then when they graduate, it's this like proud parent feeling.
Yep.
But then it's also this like, I don't know if y'all ever saw the movie the Emotions movie. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, when Bingo is like down there cheering for them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like heart-wrenching.
Dang.
But like it does feel like that.
Yeah.
It's like you just want to see them succeed. Like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so proud of you. Just keep going. Yes. Like, don't look back. Go.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
keep going forward,
Just
you know.
go for the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Gosh, that got me.
That's good.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No. Okay, so let's talk about you having to teach less. So Miss Mitchell
Yes.
is going to do the junior high.
She is. And
Yeah.
for the, I just have to say it, just
Yes.
because I don't want anybody thinking that
Yes.
I've got an easy job over here. I am not teaching less. I'm just going to be here all day.
Right.
So I took on a men's choir and I took on a fine arts DE class in exchange for going to the junior high every day.
Right. Yeah.
So, again, not that you're anti-junior high. You need those kids. You need that program.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I know that it was a burden to have to go back and forth.
I'll be honest. The biggest, selfishly, yes, it was a burden just because of like the travel back and forth, but also the mind shift that had to happen daily. But more than that, there was only time for one class to be offered at the junior high. And I typically start the year with anywhere between 90 and 100 students that want to be in choir.
Yep.
And you can't have that many in one classroom.
Right.
Especially not junior high.
Yes.
So, you know, at the start of last school year, I went to the office and said, look, can we look at alternate spaces for me to bring them? Because I had over 80. And I was told, well, I'm going to be honest, you're going to have to cut them in half. And that breaks my heart because if they want to be in choir, I want them.
Right.
I want them, even if they're tone deaf, even if even if they're not
There are
the
some.
most talented singer. If they have the desire to be in there, I want them to try.
Yep.
And I don't think it's fair to have to say, well, oh well, we just don't have enough space, or oh well, we don't have enough hours. And so that was really my biggest motivator, was think of how much bigger the program there could be, which in turn will make the program here bigger, because
Yeah.
there's going to be more offerings for them to, you know, be in a classroom setting where they can learn choir.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Miss Mitchell coming on is just been a huge
Blessing.
help,
Yes.
and she's already rocking it.
Oh my gosh, yes, she's fantastic.
I love being able to see her. She works in the middle stairwell for us in the mornings, and she is just a ray of sunshine. And I have not flipped the switch yet, and I'm just like, hey, good
And
morning.
she takes that duty spot. I just want you to know.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, she really is. It's good to see her
Yes.
to be able to do that and have her on campus, because she was your student teacher
Yes,
last
yes,
year.
yes.
So that really was really special. So just kind of shifting gears a little bit. So I mean, we've already said it. You'd love to be a trophy wife, but if you can't, but you're still a wife. You're a mom of 3, a
Yes.
teacher to a whole lot more kids every single day. But how has being a mother and raising your kids and seeing them grow, how's that changed the way that you're a teacher to the students that you get here at Tioga?
I almost want to say it's the opposite. It has changed more of how I mother than it does how I teach.
Okay.
Because where I could be very narrow-minded and think of something just, you know, it's black or white, here it is, this way, getting to have the experiences with my students and, you know, see people from all walks of life. The way I teach my children has become very different, because I want to make sure that they understand that it's not just, you know, the way our family looks. That families come in all shapes and sizes, and you know, your classmate sitting next to you doesn't always have as much, or maybe has more than you, and that's okay. It's just about being kind to everyone. Right. Now, I will say it affects the way I teach in the just mom mode that I can go into. Like, you know, I know your mama raised you better than that, and right now I'm going to be your mom, and you're not going to do that. Of course, naturally, you know, I do go into mom mode sometimes with them, but I would say that if anything, it has changed the way I mother more than the way I teach.
So you have 3 kids.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about them.
Oh, my children.
It's a big question.
It
Right?
They are really distinctly their
Yes.
own.
Oh, yes,
people.
they are.
They're awesome. Yeah.
So my oldest is 12. He just entered the 7th grade next door at Tioga Junior High. His name is Oliver, but he goes by Moose.
Yeah, tell us about that. Where did this come from?
Where'd that come
When
from?
he was teeny tiny, not even a year and a half old, and he would crawl on hands and knees, he would actually push furniture with his head.
That's respectable.
And I mean, like heavy furniture, like a whole chair, a whole ottoman, like he would push them. And we always would joke, and he is still very strong and doesn't look like he would be. But on the same coin, just different side, he is also extremely clumsy. Extremely clumsy.
Okay.
Just
Starting
like,
to make sense.
Yes. And so it's just one of those, like, we started calling him that whenever he was teeny tiny, and it just stuck. To the point that whenever I introduced him to his junior high teachers, they said, I think it was Ms. Bachman actually said, well, do you want me to call you Oliver? And he said, no, ma'am, please call me Moose, because that's what he goes by. He is Moose.
That's good.
So he is my super smart-mouthed, but very, very kind-hearted oldest. My middle child is 10. She'll be 11 next month. That's Ava Grace, and she is in the 6th grade at Mary Goff. She is kind of the opposite of him. She doesn't care a whole lot about book smarts. I mean, she tries really hard, but she doesn't care a whole lot about him. But she cheers at the junior high level, and really, really enjoys cheerleading. She is very much so a girl. She's all about the makeup and the hair flips and all the things. And she is quite the caretaker in every aspect, whether it comes to our 2 puppy dogs, to her little brother, to me as her mama. She is very aware of her surroundings, and always wants to make sure everybody is taken care of. And then the youngest. My youngest is 6, and his name is Evan, and his best friend in the whole wide world is Judah Richardson. And
Shout out.
He is,
Well,
Evan is feral. That's just the only way to
He's such a
describe
great little
him.
kid, though. I mean,
He's just wild. He's all boy and very, very expressive all the time.
yeah. I really. So while we were getting ready for school, I mean, both of our kids were coming up, and I do remember both of my boys, Judah and Lincoln, asking, "Is Evan here?" And I just remember looking at you and being like, "I understand why he's not here, but will he?" And we had kind of come to an agreement, and I think Ava Grace came up, and they were running around, and I saw all of our boys running one way, and Ava Grace came through the hallway, and she just looked at me and kind of threw her hand at me and said, "I've got it."
Yes.
She just went on, and I just was like, "Okay, I'm not even going to leave my classroom. You got that."
Yes.
So, yeah, that was that was just really funny for me.
So your kids are up here a lot,
Oh, yes.
right? Your kids are up here a lot.
So much more than I wish, but I love them.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, mine will be up here eventually a lot. What do you hope that as they spend time with you at school, that how do they view you as mom who is a teacher? What do they remember about you as a teacher? What do you want them to see?
I hope that they see me the same way that I hope my students see me, which is someone willing to accept everyone.
Right.
I very, very rarely will turn someone away from choir.
Right.
I want my students to always see that, like, my door is always open. I'm always available. If you're going through it because so-and-so doesn't like your shoes, or if you're going through it because, mom got arrested, or if you maybe don't know how you're going to eat your next meal, or, whatever it is, or if you have the happy moments and you want to come, like, celebrate and be like, one of my favorite things is when students will come to me and be like, "You'll never guess what I did this weekend. I got saved." That is amazing. And, like, I love that they want to share happy moments with me. And I just hope that my kids, my personal children, see me in the same way that I'm hoping my students see, is that, I'm here to serve. I'm here to be something for someone else.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing, and I grew up in a house that was just full of music. My mom sang, my sister sang. My dad tried to learn how to play the harmonica unsuccessfully. But when I listen to a song now, I'm just enjoying it. Your job is to literally break a song down from bass to tenor to alto to soprano.
big music guy over here. You can say.
Yeah.
Does
that's
that?
Make sure I throw out those music
Yeah,
words.
that's good.
Yeah,
Make sure
I
everybody
know
knows.
what I'm talking about. Yes, of course. I sing in the choir at church.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, whenever you're looking at music, when you listen to just regular music, when you're on the whenever it's on the radio or you're listening to music on your phone, do you think about those things when you're just listening to regular music instead of like choir music?
It depends. It really depends. If I am in like, I just want to shut the world out mode and I just need to sing, no, I'm not thinking about anything other than I want to belt out the song that's on right now. But there are times, especially like when the kids are listening to radio music and, you know, things are playing, that I'm breaking down harmonies or I'm singing the harmony while the, you know, the regular melody is singing. I just can't help it. I think it's just forever engraved in my brain.
Yeah. So Kelsey, it looks like we have a text coming in on our text line here. Reminder to our listeners, you can text the show anytime at 318-555-TIOGA. Again, that's 318-555-TIOGA. So I know the first acronym here, Kelsey, of this question, but I don't know the second. It just says, hey, Kelsey, big fan. Can you give us your hot take on LMEA versus ACDA?
Okay, so
Also, it's a two-parter.
Well,
sorry.
there's a
two-parter.
Also, really love how your students are usually off binder for performances. Is that something you push for, and do you ever make exceptions? So 2 parts there.
Got it. So LMEA is Louisiana Music Educators Association.
Okay.
ACDA is American Choral Directors Association.
Okay.
So hot take, I've never been part of ACDA.
Oh,
Not through high school or college years. And actually in our district, only one school participates in ACDA. I would love to become part of it, but it's kind of like, where do I fit it in my schedule?
Right.
LMEA is what I participate in. It's what I'm part of. And I think our LMEA, I'm actually on the board of directors this year, and I think we are really making some, headway moving forward, trying to put music education at the forefront.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm all about off books because I think that for them to be the most expressive, they need to be fully locked in on their directors.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you have said that you stand on the foundation of kindness.
Absolutely.
Where did that come from? Why does that mean so much to you?
If I'm being honest, I don't know that I was always the kindest person. I think I went through some phases where I found it easier to deflect and maybe not be kind. And whenever I think about that, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
So I always try my very hardest to be kind. And of course, I'm not successful all the time. There are always days that, I think, ooh, probably shouldn't have let that one out my mouth,
Yeah, it happens.
But I want everyone to feel like they belong.
Right.
So I think that comes from kindness. And I think that whenever somebody sees, a kind smile or just a, hey, how are you? I think it can make a really big difference. And so I really, when my students leave my class every day, I say, okay, I love y'all big, make good choices, and be kind to somebody, because I want them to see that like one small act can change somebody's whole life.
Right.
And we all have heard stories of somebody that was, on the verge of making a tragic decision, and just one person's actions with them kind of changed that.
Right.
And I don't ever need to know that I'm that person, but I always would rather be that person than the opposite.
Yeah. Well, look, I've had kids tell me before that they wanted to quit choir.
Yeah.
But just because of it's just
It's
a lot. It's another
yeah.
thing, and it's a
It is.
lot.
It's
And
like,
it's super vulnerable,
yes,
for sure.
and our kids are tired, and we're tired, and it's hard for them too. And they'll say that, but I just can't leave Miss Nogic.
Yeah.
Is that not that that's the goal to like hold them hostage, but does that?
It is.
Does that?
Right. Yeah.
But like, does that mean something to you?
Absolutely, absolutely, because we all count on each other, and I think they know. I invest a lot of time. Like these 4 to 6 years that I spend with these kids. But it's more than that. I pour a lot of who I am into them. And I think they see that. I think that they see that, like, when I say, hey, I love you, I mean that. It's not just this superficial, like, okay, have a great day. I care about my students. I truly want their success. And I think they see it and they feel it. And so then it's reciprocated, and it's, well, I want to help her succeed, and I want to help the choir succeed. So now I can't walk away from that.
Right. Yeah. You've also said that we're one choice away from making a completely different life for ourselves.
Yeah.
So what's a choice that you've made that has changed yours?
Honestly, coming to Tioga. Because where this has always been where I've wanted to be, when 2020 hit, it's COVID, it's all the things. My youngest feral child was just born. He was actually 6 weeks old whenever Mark Richards called me. And I, at first, hesitated. Even though this was what I wanted, it was this hesitation of, but I just had this child. It's COVID. What if I'm making the wrong choice? And, I prayed over it, and I just finally said, I'm going to take this leap. I'm going to do it. And I'm so thankful I did, because the opportunities that have opened for me since I've been at Tioga have been, amazing. And, of course, the students and the connections that I've gotten to make have been incredible. But I think that there are micro moments throughout our lives that we could all point to, like, this time that I decided to go down this stairwell instead of this one, and maybe I ran into somebody and had a conversation that I wouldn't have had otherwise, and that conversation has stuck with me and made a difference somehow. Even the minor things, I think it's just one choice. Like, you can always make a choice that could better or could worsen, but, hopefully could better your lives.
Well, I think we need to ask about that. What was it like having a baby during COVID?
Horrible.
Yeah,
It was horrible.
Rough.
Yes. Well, and of course, there at the beginning, no one knew what was happening. It was such the unknown. And I remember the days of my husband would not let me leave. I say that he's not controlling, but like, he didn't want me leaving the house.
Right. Just for
You don't
your
know
own
when you're
health.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Golly.
And he would go get groceries. He'd come home, put everything on the front porch. He would spray everything down with Lysol.
Yeah.
I'd take his clothes, put them straight into the washer. It was like, we were terrified. You had no clue. And then, of course, once Evan was born, and now I have this newborn, and I'm supposed to be wearing a mask. Oh, but newborns can't wear a mask, so just let him have all the germs. It was so confusing.
What a crazy time.
It was
really
awful.
was. I remember, because when Judah was born, I went back to school after being home for a week, and then after that, the whole world shut down. And it was our first kid. It was, oh my gosh, it was the whole whirlwind, because my parents couldn't come and help out,
Right.
and Kaylee's parents couldn't make it, and it was just one of those things of,
Figure it out.
we're gonna Zoom call this. We're gonna figure it out.
You've got this tiny baby here on the webcam.
Yes,
Here's
and
your
I'm just like,
child.
hey,
Yes.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right, right.
I'm in charge of this one. I don't get to hand him off to his parents. I am the parent. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, Kelsey. So when all the concerts, all the trips, all the everything, and I know that we've touched on this whole time, but all the school years are eventually behind you, what do you hope that people remember about you? Even the people that weren't necessarily in choir. I'm never going to go to your class ever.
Right.
But you still impacted me. Just years from now, what do you hope that they remember?
I would just hope that I'm seen as somebody that's kind, and everything else is lighthearted. Like, there's just nothing that's that serious.
Right.
And I think we can all, really benefit from a little bit more laughter and a little bit more love and a little bit more kindness. And I think that if I can facilitate that in any way, and then hopefully that's what I'm remembered as, and I would be okay with that legacy.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, I think that would matter to me more than oh, she's the director that won all these awards. Oh, she's the director that led the school to, this event or this thing.
Right.
I think just having people remember me as this music lady that was really nice to everybody.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say for me, again, I have gone to every Christmas and spring concert that I can. I know nothing about choir, nor can I find a pitch.
Right. That's okay.
But I know the positive impact that you're having here. So
Thank you.
for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. We love to be able to come and support you and watch you rock your sparkly red high
that.
heels.
Always.
But
Did you wear those at Bream? Or is it just a
No,
Tioga
that's
thing?
Tioga.
Yeah, there it is. Love
Well,
it.
it just so happens red is my favorite color.
Perfect.
And so it just kind of worked out. Because not Pineville red, I mean red.
Yes, red.
Tioga red.
yes,
That's good.
They
It's the
are
one and only.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, Kelsey, we really do appreciate you coming on Tioga Talks.
Thank you for having me.
And just kind of talking through your life.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the opportunity to be able to brag on you and just let people know who you are, what you mean to Tioga, what you mean to us as a friend, and just the impact that you're having here. It's not something that goes unseen ever.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you all for having me.
Yeah.
I would come sit on the couch to talk to y'all anytime.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We'll do it again.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you again for coming on, and we hope to be able to listen to everybody again. Or you can listen to us, I guess. We don't have to listen to you.
Yeah.
But just remember, we are your hosts, Cade and Dallin. This is Tioga Talks, where every conversation has a story.
Love y'all.